And we back. Welcome back to another episode of the Get Buckets podcast, powered by Harwood Ain't Basketball. I'm your host, Musa Moretti. Today I got a special guest on, committed to Erskine College, Mr. Kristian Hodges. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Um, First thing I just want to ask, how you been, bro, with
Been
everything?
good. Been good, man. Just getting myself prepared for college. So it's gonna be a different experience. So I'm just getting ready for that.
For sure, bro. We're gonna get to that. I really just want to start from obviously you come from humble beginnings. A guy, Greenville guy, obviously, just graduated from Legacy, but I want to really start off from like the backstory, even before Legacy, before jail, man, all that. Just want to ask you like where'd you like grow up and get into basketball really, like middle school and all that.
All right. So I'm originally from Maryland.
Okay.
I was born there. Lived there for 14 years. I started playing ball when I was 5. Um, come from a family that are literally just hoopers. So it only made sense for me to pick up a basketball and start playing. Um, and then I moved here, 2019, like late into my eighth grade year. Just won back to back championships at my middle school back in Maryland. So, obviously everybody was kind of frustrated with me coming coming to Greenville so late because they wanted
Yeah.
me to help win a championship.
Hmm.
Um, but that's really how it started. It just started from just, a little skinny kid from Maryland, and I ended up being able to come to Greenville and really change my career in so many different ways.
Yeah. What was the decision? Was in coming to Greenville? Was it for basketball purposes, or was it just like family and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So it was really about coming to play high school basketball here. At the time, uh, Coach Mike, uh, Coach Mike Morrison, was the head
Hmm.
coach at JL Man, and
Yeah.
um, I've been close with him for so many years, and it only made sense for me just to go and play for somebody that I knew that wanted me to make it to the next level, and that's where I wanted to be at. So, you know, as soon as I told my mom I wanted to go play for him, we it was a crazy decision, but we made the decision to come to Greenville, and I ended up at jail, man.
Where? How do you know Coach Mike? Coach Mike Morrison.
Family. He's actually my godfather. Um, ended up, but I refer to him as my uncle. If people who really know me knows that, um, but no, he's been family to me since since I really started playing basketball.
Mm.
Um, and just kind of being able to, you know, hear how committed he was into just a little kid, skinny kid in eighth grade, and believe that I could do something special in a high school program that he felt like will help me grow. That spoke a lot to me. He was very transparent about how much he believes in what I could do, and he thinks I could really change the system. And
Well,
that was my focus, just going in just to make an impact. And
yeah.
you know I'm I'm blessed that he gave me the opportunity. So yeah, that's about it for sure.
Yeah. So your first year at jail, man. What 2019 through 20? So I know y'all had like Blake over there, Jordan Berry,
Hmm.
some guys that could really go, but. Just get me started on that. Like, what was your first year, both being in Greenville and also just I know I heard you play varsity what all 4 years, obviously,
Hmm.
or at least two, and then playing on the higher level team at Legacy. But what was like the first year like being a freshman at Jail Man 5A school?
Um, man, it was a crazy experience. Because there's not a lot of freshmen that can both. play on varsity and start all games
Mm,
in a high school career. It's only there's a very few amount of people that has been able to achieve that, and
mhm,
it was great. I wish we had finished that year out strong because we fell short in the playoffs, but um,
yeah,
that experience, because I came in, you know, just with so much tenacity and such an impact, just be able to play with guys that who actually wants to win, like Blake
yeah,
Harris, Jordan
yeah,
Berry,
mhm,
JB, those guys, they wanted to win, and that's the team that I wanted to be around. And I thought we could go the whole way, but sadly, we there were certain incidents that had occurred, and it ended up throwing the team off a little bit going to the playoffs. But I'm not, but I still feel like that was a great experience just for me to kind of get used to what the next 3 years of my career was going to be. So yeah, that was freshman year was definitely a game changer in my career.
word. What would you say was like your role for that team that year?
Um, shoot, be a strong defender, uh, be able to score at will, to um, to really just help the team be more glued together. Like,
Mm,
so I was basically that guy that just loved doing the little things like rebounding, taking charges, finishing strong at the basket, hit all my free throws. Though
yeah,
I was that type of guy.
yeah,
Um, and because of how efficient I was, as like just being efficient through the entire season helped us win games, along with me playing with guys that understood how to play this game as well.
yeah,
So so that just made everything come together.
yeah. How do you feel like those guys that obviously had come through the program, like you said, Blake and Jordan and all them? Do you feel like they were did you really look up to them, or was it more like they helped you in like certain aspects of just being like a varsity athlete, or what was y'all's like relationship kind of?
So no, they really those were guys I really did look up to as far as um not just as a teammate, but just being around them. It made me into a
Hmm.
better player and just really a better person around because it helped me understand what it would take for me to really impact um, the game as a freshman.
Yeah,
Blake was like our leader. He was our guy that could really be a game changer. He always made sure that I kept my head up whenever something was going on. Always gave me constant advice. Jordan was the guy that always um, wanted me to compete. He was that guy that always would push you to the point where you have to where you have to compete. JB, he was a tough one to for me to guard as a freshman, considering how skilled he really is. And everybody else that was on the team, they all had a different aspect of how they play, but it
mm,
also gave me an aspect of how like, yo, this is how I have to play against everybody else. So
yeah,
everybody that was on that team gave me a certain insight of how I need to approach every opportunity I get.
yeah,
And and I still keep up with a lot of them to this day. So um, so these are guys that I continue to be around because they
hmm,
impacted my high school career from the beginning and they still been around towards the end.
yeah. And I mean, even with like Blake, I know he's over there playing D1 now at Furman, even after all these years. So they're still over here competing at the highest level.
Right.
just continuing the journey. Um, I want to ask, so obviously, 2019 through 20 or 2020 to be exact was the year COVID happened, but were you able to play AAU that year, or was it more
So
like what were you doing during that COVID time?
I definitely so I wasn't playing AAU. I wish I really wanted to, but I also felt like it was better for me to start working on other aspects of my game because my freshman year I was more of a big man that was 6'3",
Hmm.
and
Mm.
for a guy that's gonna be 6'3" in college, they're gonna be playing you as a guard. So it was more focused for me to work on my guard skills, and that's why I didn't play at AAU. I just went to the court. I had my trainer with me, and we worked out every single day. Um, and that's just really all I did. I didn't take any breaks unless I had to go out of town. But that was it. Just consistently getting up and going straight to the court and work out. That's all
Right.
I did.
Did you have to go to like an outdoor court, indoor, or like? Because I know a lot of
Outdoor, definitely
yeah, for
outdoor.
sure. Yeah, everything was really locked up during that time.
Right. It was bad, man.
Yeah, so moving on, obviously, between the 2020 season, 2021, y'all get Coach Brazil over there, who actually he was a pretty good, had a pretty successful time at Greenville Tech Charter. So obviously, I get him going into your sophomore year. And how do you just feel like that transition was going from the Coach Mike intern coach to then getting the head coach such as Coach Brazil for your
It was
sophomore year?
different. It was very different. Because we went into a because it was just like everybody starting to be able to come back into the school with COVID happening,
Hmm.
and just kind of being able to learn what his philosophy was. Um, it was very different for me, and that was something I had to get adjusted to throughout time. Uh, but I feel like we had we had plenty of opportunities to show out
Hmm.
with that
Hmm.
philosophy. I just think that year there was a lot of things that happened as far as what had did to the team. Um, there were certain lapses, um,
Yeah,
to where like guys couldn't practice and stuff. There was injuries going on,
yeah.
so there were
I heard like y'all had to miss like I remember this because like Jeremy was telling me during that whole like his freshman year, like y'all were missing like so many weeks just because everybody kept having COVID and all that.
yeah. So it was like it was so bad because it came from the it started from the freshman team and it got passed up all the way
Mm.
towards the varsity team, and we ended up missing like 2 to 3 weeks worth of games.
I know. I see
Because
y'all
that's
here. Y'all played 12 games.
yeah, it was so ridiculous, man. Like we literally just lost to I want to say it was Malden, and the next game was gonna be against Greenville.
Mm.
And everybody, if you know Jail Man, we're
Yeah.
no Jail Man and Greenville are huge rivals, and we were trying everything we could to get that game back on the schedule, but we couldn't do it. So just kind of getting everybody to come back and then try to get everybody back in shape. It was really bad, man. But we could. I mean, if that thing didn't happen, I think we probably would have done a lot better for sure.
Yeah, and
But
even I know even like playoffs, like they weren't even taking as many teams that year or anything.
yeah, it was only like two teams each region to
Hmm.
and we were right there to making the playoffs, but we ended up losing to Woodmont by a
Mm.
few points,
Yeah.
and that one hurt. That one hurt for sure.
Yeah, I want to ask though, like obviously I knew some of the guys from that team. Obviously, y'all had brought in like guys like J Rock, Isaiah Cole was over there, Xavier. Like,
Mhm.
how do you feel those seniors are impacted like y'all's team that year? Obviously, moving on from like guys like Blake and Jordan and all them.
It was different because everybody has a different way of playing, um,
Mm,
and I think because what made it tough was that we didn't have a summer to where we could build that chemistry that we all needed. My freshman year we
yeah,
had it, but going to my sophomore year we didn't have it. Um, but everybody had a certain role, and we were all trying to figure it out the same way. Um, and we definitely needed. I definitely think we needed more chemistry if we really wanted to go far into that year. But
yeah,
sadly, we didn't have enough. We didn't have the time to do it. But
hmm
as far as those guys, I'm grateful for being able to play with them because they all had contributed in some way. It may
yeah,
have been in different ways, but everybody contributed into a certain way, and that was more important to me than just you know trying to figure it out by each by each other. So yeah.
yeah. I want to ask, I didn't really ask. I know this year was kind of like the year you really started, like, getting more notice and stuff. I know you got gotten like all region for y'all that year. Like, what do you feel like your role from freshman year to sophomore, for you personally? Like, how did it advance, and how do you feel you played that season for the team?
um it was definitely a turn, like a different role that I had to play. As far as I had to be more dominant than how I was my freshman year. My sophomore year was more of a year where I had to be more than just a role guy. I had to be more of a scorer, a better
Hmm.
defender, um, a better facilitator, and really just a better leader. Because I realized, with this certain team, there's things that you know because I knew I could push myself more, and I felt like I had to be more of a better leader to help that team be able to work hard with me. So
Yeah,
um, it was definitely it was definitely a better year for me. I did start off pretty slow my sophomore year, due to some personal issues that really hit me as far as getting COVID on my birthday week, and then I
yeah,
had one of my grandfathers pass right after I got COVID. So I was like really in a tough space. And then when I came back, um, is when I started playing, really good again, playing the way I knew how to play. And it just kind
hmm
of went from there because each game that I played, you'll see how much like better it was than the beginning.
yeah,
So I definitely think my sophomore year was a totally better year for me personally.
yeah,
I just wish that we, like, as the team, I just wish we did better than how it was my freshman year.
yeah.
So,
I think that year I was able to watch y'all a few times. Like y'all played Riverside when they had like Turbe when he was going crazy, and then when y'all beat
hmm
Wade Hampton by what it shows here like 1 point, and that was back that's when they had Judd, I think, when they yeah, they were also
yeah,
struggling with COVID, but yeah, they were
Judd, they had
Chris.
Chris,
Hmm.
they had Nikel,
Yeah,
Landon. Yeah, that
Hoop,
that
all
that
them.
was that was that was a tough game. That
Yeah,
was a very tough game.
yeah, and I think that might
Like,
have even been the first time I think I remember watching you, and I was like, you probably were what, like you said, like 6'3", 6'4" at that point.
hmm
And I was like, you were dominating the glass. I was like, this dude's like I wouldn't say a big, but you're over here playing like a big, and you were just like you were getting to
right.
the line a lot and all that for Jalen, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That was definitely because I had to play big man because I was the only
Yeah,
one that really knew how to play it. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, but no, that was a great game. Shout out to them, by the way.
yeah. I want to ask, a lot of people say, Coach Brazil is like old school or whatever. Like, how you feel like his whole like you mentioned his philosophy, but you said it was kind of tough a little bit to adjust to it. Like, what makes it like a little bit more difficult to adjust to?
I mean, it was definitely a different way of um, there was a different way of defense that
Mm,
was that it was from my freshman to my sophomore year. Um, the offense was a lot different because now it's putting me in certain scenarios where I have to be able to um it put me in a different scenario where I wouldn't be in the paint as much and I'll be more on the outside.
okay,
Because if you look back into my freshman year, you know, I was like in the paint quite a bit, but I still had the outside game to adapt to. Um, and really just like I wouldn't say his philosophy is old school, but I would definitely say his philosophy is a lot different than a lot of the coaches.
okay,
Um, and there was a lot of times where those philosophies worked. It was just a lot of times um, when I look back at it, I feel like everybody didn't truly understand his philosophy the way that me and a couple others may have did.
hmm,
So so that just kind of threw everybody off just a little bit. But you know, Brazil, he's a great coach. Once you put the right pieces around them and they actually adapt and adjust to the way that he approaches the game, then that's when everything clicks.
yeah. Word. So, after your sophomore year, you're gonna have to tell me, but between like your sophomore and junior year, like what was AAU like that year? Obviously, you had missed the year before, but what was like that whole off season like for you?
Um, Man, that was one of my favorite AAU years. I was playing with Atlanta Express out of Georgia,
Hmm.
and we had guys like Stephon Castle, Marcus Whitlock, Jakai Newton, um, Zion Gardner, Tyson Jones. Uh, we had such a Quay Brown. We had a
Hmm.
whole bunch of guys on that team who were ranked, very skilled, and these were guys that you know that can just impact the game with the snap of their fingers. And like it was one of my favorite AAU years because they brought me in and, they brought me in so late and they accepted the way how I play the game and it brought us together and we ended up being like one of the best Under Armour teams in the country. So
Word.
um and you know, and those guys, they helped me realize how much like potential I have playing at the next level, and you know, they definitely were a big impact on how I approach going to Legacy my junior year,
Okay.
and just to continue to you know be around them. It also made me a better teammate. So yeah, that's definitely it for sure.
Word. And I was even gonna ask you like, what was your like when and like what was your reason? Like what was your decision to go to Legacy and like what was the main reason for the move to Legacy?
Um, So I think I had a tournament for AAU in Georgia at Lake Point,
Hmm.
and Legacy was there recruiting Cohen and Chase Clemens,
Okay.
uh, and they came and watched me play, um, I didn't even realize this, but they came and watched me play. I had a really good game, and they invited me to come on a visit the next week. And the I come on the visit. I'm loving everything I see, and my mom loved it. So they were it was just like, without hesitation, I'm definitely coming. Like I don't
Hmm.
see why I wouldn't take this opportunity to be in a big position like this. And
Yeah.
right, like I I decided to commit to that school that day. And then it took me a couple weeks to fully announce it,
Yeah.
um, but I was definitely glad that I made that decision because I think it was a great opportunity for me as far as us being in the NIBC, playing best teams in the country. It was definitely more exposure for sure.
Word. Yeah. And I was even gonna ask, like, how do you feel like the playing in the? Because I know they had. What year did they add like the NIBC to Legacy? Like, when did they get like in that organization or whatever? Was it your junior year?
I want I want to say it was my during my sophomore year,
Okay.
but yeah, I think it was my sophomore year.
Word. And like, how did that really like elevate y'all from what y'all were in before to then being in the NIBC? Like, how did that help give y'all more opportunity?
Um, because when you're playing on a level um that gets national exposure, you're playing on ESPN, and that's and college coaches they feed onto that onto them games. They want to see what kids can do, and if
Hmm.
that's the kids that they want to go for, so I mean it gave me and my teammates a whole different opportunity to get recruited, and I truly think that uh, it definitely benefited a lot of kids that plays in the NIBC to be able to go and play
Hmm.
to pursue their dreams of playing in college. So that opportunity to play in that certain space, that was a blessing because not there's not a lot of high school kids that can be able to say they played in a conference like that against the best teams in the country.
Yeah. To name a few, just like what are some of the teams that y'all were playing?
Montverde, IMG, AZ Compass, Sunrise Christian, Bishop Walsh, La Lumiere,
Hmm.
and I feel like I'm missing one. Wasatch, that's what it was.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to ask, like, so y'all's junior year. I know y'all had like you said, y'all had Chase Clemens that year, and just that's the first year Cohen was there. Like, how was that? How did y'all do? How do you feel like y'all did team, or just like a summary of y'all how y'all did team wise, and then how you think you did like just being in your first year at Legacy?
I think we could have did better. For sure. We were
Yeah,
um we knew how talented we were together. We already knew that, but we needed to play together a lot better. Um,
hmm,
we always got along, of course, but we when we were going to play in the NIBC, um, no, we didn't play as hard as I think we could have,
yeah,
and the the only teams we beat was Bishop Walsh twice. So,
word,
um, um, and we had opportunities to really show out. I mean, we were close. We were close against IMG going to halftime until we took our foot off the gas. But I think
yeah,
I look back to it a lot because I think we could have did so much better. because we had the pieces to make it happen. We just
Hmm.
didn't we just didn't put it all together like we should have. Um,
Yeah.
and for me personally, um, going into my first year, I thought I had a pretty good year. Because I was just a guy that, you know, as like my coach would say, I'm the glue guy to a team. I'm the guy
Hmm.
that loves taking charges, loves going for rebounds, even though I'm only 6'4".
Yeah.
um, I love, my ability to shoot the ball. I was, they realized how effective I can be no matter how much time is given to me. And extremely, um, that was extremely amazing to feel because I felt like going to my senior year, I would have a even more bigger impact than what I would have after my junior year.
Yeah. Word. What were like some of the guys like just give me some examples of like some of the guys you got to play with at Legacy that year and just their impact to the team.
Cone Carr, everybody, if you know who Cone Carr is, he's like one of the bounciest people in the world. That man can jump
Yeah.
out the gym. We
Yeah.
had Chase Clemens, who was our guard. He was a very efficient player. It was tough when he kept going down with those injuries, um but Chase was a big part to our team. We had Bryce Hawkins, another guard. I grew up with Bryce when we were kids in Maryland. Um, we had Perry Smith, who was our big man. He was he was a problem when he turned it on for sure. We had
Hmm.
Aaron, who was also athletic. We had Khalid, who could shoot, and who can really change the game. We had Khalil, who can shoot the lights out. We had who else? We had
Yeah.
Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. We
Deuce.
had
Yeah.
Deuce, who's whose energy is unmatched every time
Yeah.
he comes into a game. Um, who else? Who else did I miss? We had Zaylon Chaney. He was
Mm.
he was definitely a huge impact to our team as far as being able to score. He was an elite defender for us. We had me. We had Savon Sutton. Um, definitely, he's a definitely a really good shooter. Um, and he definitely was somebody that I really did look up to coming into Legacy.
Word.
Um, and sheesh, am I missing anybody else? Is there was I feel like there was so many people on this team. Um,
Yeah.
Man, that's all I can think about right now. It might, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm missing one. I might be missing one, but I feel like I might have everybody. So
Okay. Yeah. I was even gonna ask. Was that the year that Coach Mike Morrison came and helped on staff?
yeah, that was the year.
Okay. So you were able to. Obviously, I didn't know y'all had the connection y'all did, but were y'all able to basically like? Did he was he a part of the reason you ended up going there, knowing that he
No,
was over there?
no, it was. I mean, of course, it was amazing to be able to reconnect with somebody that started my high school career. But
Yeah.
I also went there to for really just for me because I wanted to be able to finally get my name out there and have a better opportunity. So,
Hmm.
um, but of course, it was amazing just to be able to reconnect with somebody that who's been there for me for years. So,
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's what's up. So. Y'all finish up that year. Obviously, you said it wasn't the most. Obviously, the year before they had done pretty well with Bryce on
mhm.
the team, but that year wasn't as successful, like you said. But you're going to your final year of AAU, like or off season work before your senior year. And what was that mainly filled with that at that point?
With Team Charlotte under Jeff McGinnis, I had a lot of opportunities. I had plenty of games where I showed out to where my coach was getting called by certain colleges, um, and it was that was a great experience for my last year because I was able to finally. I felt like the hard work I was putting in, training wise, weightlifting wise, after the season was over, because I got hurt during my junior year
Oh,
and messed up. And when I came back, I was a little off track, but then I got back on track, and um, my game just ended up showing off,
mm-hmm,
and it finally got like, yo, I mean, now this, like, they see this kid is gonna be it's gonna be an issue for a lot of the teams.
mm-hmm.
Um, that was a great experience. I really enjoyed playing for Team Charlotte for sure.
Well, yeah. Like the other team, like who were some of the guys you were getting to play with, on Team Charlotte?
Um, Braylon, Austin Schwartz, Matai, who else we had? Caleb, we had Jameer Brown, um, Darius. We had Taz on that team. Dylan Williams, for the time he was there. Uh,
Okay, you talking about the one from Irmo?
yeah, Irma. Yep, he was
Okay,
actually the guy
yeah.
that knocked me out of the playoffs my freshman year. Uh,
Uh,
um, and then we had who else we had? Zion. We had Zion McDuffie. We had a lot of other guys on that team too. Kamani, Boston. I mean, our team was, we weren't like the biggest team, but we were definitely a team that definitely got along with each other. We made some noise. Very we made some noise a couple times,
hmm.
and that said a lot because we wanted to win with what we had, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing for that team. It meant a lot to me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
What was like the main reason to switch from Atlanta Express to Team Charlotte?
that's a long story, man. Um,
Yeah.
but it was there was just a certain situation where they felt like it was a better situation to have me play, to not it was they felt like it was a better situation to not have me back for my senior year, and I ended up finding another team
Hmm.
after I got the news. So I wasn't upset about it. I still support Atlanta Express. I hope that they continue to do great things because they've done so many things for plenty of other players like Anthony Edwards, who's now in the league.
Hmm.
Um, and I wanted, you know, and now I wanted to be in a better position to play, and Team Charlotte was that position.
Got you. Nice. So, obviously moving on to your senior year or final year of high school, going back to Legacy. Before I even mention it, I just want to ask, like, what's your relationship been like with Coach BJ over there?
He was definitely a big role model for me. Uh, Whenever I needed to talk to him about something, he was always there from, there ready to talk whenever I needed. Uh, just to be able to go back to Legacy, um, and he was willing to have me back with open arms.
Hmm.
Uh, that meant a lot to me because I realized that Legacy will always be my home, and uh, he definitely made sure that I knew that. So I really did. I really, still this day, I still talk to Coach BJ. I'm still gonna be around Legacy. So I still want him to be a part of my life, of course. You know, so that's definitely somebody that I really appreciate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those relationships definitely go far for sure. I want to ask though, like, going into your senior year, like, what was y'all's main focus for this past season, and how do you think y'all did for once again the team and for you personally?
We definitely were a. I think we were, a lot very much better team than what we were the year before. We were close to winning many games. We we were the only team that I think we weren't close enough to beating was Montverde.
Okay.
So but we were definitely a better team. We definitely had um, all the potential to really make some noise this past year. Um, of course, everybody has a different way of how they play the game, but everybody made an impact, and that was
Hmm.
important. So, and then for me personally, um, it was a little bit different for me than how it was my junior year because I was playing in a different type of position, but I made the best of everything that I could do. Um, my going to those different positions. Uh, I still kept doing the things that I love doing, which was taking charges, playing
Hmm.
defense, being able to shoot, rebounding the ball like always.
Yeah.
Those were the things that I continued to do, and that helped us in many instances. So
Got you. And like you said, y'all were more successful, which is always good to hear. Just to obviously name a few guys. Obviously I know some of the guys that were on y'all's team. Y'all got a few transfers that I think really helped y'all, but I'll let you go ahead and just explain some of the guys y'all had on the team this past year, because the team did look
like
a good amount different from your junior year.
right, obviously Cohen. We had
Hmm.
Tyler Ringgold out of
Yeah.
Louisiana. Uh, we had Elijah Crawford, who is one of the top guards in the country. We had Jordan Key, who's great at shooting the ball, who can give a team so much good energy. We had, we had me, we had uh, Malachi Brown, we had we had Khalil,
Hmm.
We had Chad Cook, we had Baba Elijah Franklin. Um,
Yeah.
we had Jude Wilkins, uh, Cam Thomas, um, Jordan King.
Hmm.
We had Daniel Jacobson, the 7 footer. We had
Yeah.
Hayden. We had Hayden.
Yeah.
Um, and we had guys that who can make an impact on the game very quickly, and I definitely enjoyed playing with them. They all made me a better player, and I definitely appreciate them for that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, like, do you ever feel like obviously all these guys are like the man where they come from? So do you ever
Right.
feel like the like ego ever got in the way of anything at the school, or y'all really like put that aside?
We definitely put it aside. I don't, everybody had to come together. Everybody had to realize that you're not going to be the man on your team anymore.
Mm,
Everybody, because now you're playing for a team that has to play together, or else you're going to lose to the best teams in the country.
mm,
So I think everybody put that aside, and we focus on working hard on trying to win.
yeah. Another thing I just want to ask, like the insights of legacy, like what were the practices like? Like how intense were they, or were they? Yeah, just I'll let you explain. Like how were the practices at Legacy?
Very intense.
Mm,
It was definitely a always take pride in defense type of practices. We of course we worked on our offense, we had we had to focus on defense, and we did so many defensive drills. There was times we had to do conditioning, of course, like every other practice would have to. Um, and a lot of times you will find those practices fun. Like like
mm,
you don't really like you once you get accustomed to it, you figure out how you can find the fun in those practices and I think that was something that we really figured out because after we got adjusted to what to being able to enjoy what we were doing, everybody came in together. So I definitely, me personally, I loved it. I loved the practices.
Yeah,
Um,
nice. I wanted to
but
ask, like, what do you feel like the main difference was going from like a 5A school such as Gerald Mann to then playing the NIBC level at Legacy?
the competition is very much different. Um,
Mm,
because you're like I said, you're playing the best teams in the country. This isn't like you're not playing you know, South Carolina schools anymore. You're really traveling around the country just to go play certain teams. And
yeah,
every team you play, you're gonna have to play against one of the toughest crowds.
hmm,
So you know where so that was definitely that's definitely a difference. You're not gonna be, you know, playing against like home crowds where you're adjusted to. You're playing against crowds that are gonna talk your head off. So
yeah,
yeah, but no, the competitive level is so much different. Um and definitely something that you're gonna have to get adjusted to like very quick. So
yeah, nah, for sure. Um, so then, after y'all finish or after you finish up at your season at Legacy, I then see, you decide to commit to Erskine. What was like your main decision or main reason for making that decision?
um definitely how transparent they were. Obviously there was some changes in the coaching staff from from when I originally got offered.
Hmm.
But I ended up when I took my my workout at Erskine, we had like a little 5v5 competitive games against each other, and the coach loved what he saw in me. And it was like, I want this kid. Like I want this kid to come play for me.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
um after the workout was over, he made sure like he could do whatever he could just to make sure I get to get to Erskine. And I remember
Yeah.
we took a tour around the campus, and I was just like, I would be a fool if I didn't make this decision. You know, I feel like this is where I need to be. And I told my mom how I was feeling. She was like, "Look, whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%." And um, I called Coach Peeler and Coach Mike, and I was like, "Well, I just wanted to let y'all know that I am fully going to commit to Erskine College."
Hmm.
And a month or two later, uh, give him the pen and paper.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sign my letter of intent.
Hmm.
And I knew that was going to be a great decision for me. So um, no, I can't wait to get to campus and really just enjoy the ride. That's all I'm really focused on.
Yeah. No, that's what's up. I wanted to ask you like one more thing. Obviously, you haven't started at Erskine, but like, what's your main goals going into it?
To make an impact because Erskine struggled last year a lot, and I feel like with me and the other pieces that are coming into this big puzzle,
Hmm.
uh, we're all getting ready for. We're all focused on being champions, and you know we're
Hmm.
gonna have to go up against other great D2 teams, but
Yeah.
it's not. But I'll tell my teammates, it's not impossible. Um, you know, we're all gonna be able. We all can make a difference, and we can
Hmm.
definitely go in and we can definitely win. And I want to go in. I want to be not just a big impact, but I want to be the biggest leader. And Because no doubt we're gonna need a leader, and I know I'm more than capable of being able to be a strong leader to our team.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. Best of luck in that for sure, man. I think you'll do great, bro.
I appreciate it, bro.
Last few questions I just have are just like general. I wanted to ask, like, what's your real end goal for this whole basketball journey?
I want to, like I told everybody, I want to go play pro,
Mm,
and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. As far as if it takes me, who knows how long to make it there. I'm willing to go and do it.
yeah,
Um, and that's been my focus ever since I was a kid.
got you, man. Yeah. Especially, I mean, I mean, there's so many different options now, and everybody gets paid. Like, just because you don't make it to the NBA, I mean, everyone overseas, I mean, they're making big contracts nowadays, even so. I mean, there's money
Facts.
everywhere. So,
Right.
um, I also wanted to just ask, like, what's your real inspiration for playing the game?
um, my biggest well, I have two big inspirations. Is for my mom and for my grandfather and my great grandmother.
Mm,
Those are people I really dedicate myself to playing this game for them. Um, I want to be able to, you know, get my mom into, get move my mom into a big house and let her live her life, and I just want to be able to make my loved ones up there proud. So,
yeah,
um, that's my inspiration, and that's always been my inspiration for as long as I could live.
yeah, man, for sure, bro. Um, next thing I just wanted to ask is, like when there's a difference between being on and off the court, and I just wanted to ask, like, obviously, when you're on the court is way different than, you like right now or you off the court. Like, what's your main mentality when you step on that court?
Dominate. That's all that goes to my mind. Just go out and dominate. Play the game that you know how to play. And um that's my focus every single time. Don't worry about what other people has to say about you. Don't worry about what's going on in the outside world. Just focus on what's right in front of you and just enjoy every second you have of it because one day it can be taken away from you.
Very true. Um, these last two questions I have, uh, just little fun ones I've been asking people lately. Who do you think you play like?
Oh man. Oh man.
And who do you model your game after? I also want to add that in.
Um whew, wow. Um that's a great question, man. Because a lot of people with because I get a mix, like one, like some people would say I play like PJ Tucker, which is not bad. It's
Okay.
just because his ability to shoot and play defense.
Yeah.
Um but a lot of people would like to compare me to like a um somewhat like a Jason Tatum look a little bit because of how I like to be a little bit more aggressive. Um, you know what? But if I try to line my game after somebody, because I'm not no like my game is nowhere close to this person because my idol is Kobe Bryant, obviously. But somebody that I feel like my game is similar to a little bit is probably Jimmy Butler, only because his aggression
Hmm.
is like his aggression for his size is
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
when I look at myself, my aggression from my size, me being 6'4" and only 213 pounds, um, I feel like my aggression is really good as far as how efficient I can be when I'm on the court. Because Jimmy Butler is one of the most efficient players, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Whenever he plays, amazing.
Yeah,
So that's definitely somebody I personally would compare my game to.
and that's great that you mentioned Jimmy Butler because the next thing I wanted to ask is who do you think is gonna win these NBA finals?
Man, honestly, I want Miami to win so bad. Um, just after how what happened. I mean, because I'll be honest, I'm a Laker fan. I've been a Laker fan since I
Okay.
was a kid. But
Hmm.
but after how hard Jimmy played against the Lakers back in the bubble, I feel like Jimmy really deserves to get a ring. But at the same time, like as much as I want Miami to win, I know for a fact Denver's gonna win. Because like
Yeah,
if you saw how Jokic and
you want
Murray played last
yeah
game. So
you want them to win because they swept your Lakers.
yeah, no, I don't want Denver to win. I want Miami to
No,
win, but
no,
I know
I know
Denver's gonna win.
you want Miami to win because Denver just put your team out.
Man, who your team then?
My team, I'm not gonna lie, is West Side for the West Coast. I was saying Sacramento, but East Side, Celtics. So they went out just as sad,
Yeah,
just as
they did.
sad. But at least we
But
didn't
no,
get swept. But uh, uh last thing I wanted to ask you is just one thing I like to ask like the older guys most of the time is, you've been through the whole high school process and all that. Like what's some motivation you could give to like some of the young guys coming through Greenville, Maryland, just everywhere like coming through this whole basketball journey? Like what's some inspiration or motivation you can give to the young guys?
don't let the outside world um don't let the outside world conflict of what you do on the court and off the court. Proceed to be you and work hard at everything that you want to do in life, regardless
Mm,
of what people are saying about you. Um, it doesn't matter how old, how how big, how tall you are. Um, just to be determined to go out and be great. That's and enjoy every moment of it. Have fun.
yeah, no, that's huge. I mean, at the end of the game, it's a game, and you gotta have fun with it. You can't treat it like obviously
Right.
treat it serious, but you don't want it to feel like a job.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's all I have for you today. But I appreciate you hopping on, bro, and finding time to or making time to be able to get on for the first time. I think this might be the first legacy guy. I mean, I know Ray Sean, he went to legacy, but
Hmm.
second legacy guy I've had on. So I
Right.
appreciate you coming on, bro.
For sure, man. I'm glad I could be on.
Yes, sir, man. And best of luck at Erskine, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Stay safe, bro.
All right, you too, bro.